If you want to get better at creating artwork, then you must look at a variety of artworks and analyse those pieces. Now that you've learned about the rule of thirds, you can use it to examine the composition of different images. You can use your software to draw a grid over a painting and examine if it conforms to the rule of thirds. Alternatively, you can imagine the grid drawn over the painting. This is something you want to encourage yourself to do. In the early days, you might have to draw the grid. Later, you will look at the artwork and immediately know if it relates to this particular composition tool. When you reach that stage, I'm sure you will understand a lot of other aspects of composition. You will become better at analysing artwork, and that's an important skill for any artist. You will create a list of questions about the composition of a piece. Those questions might include, why has the artist chosen to position that colour there? Why did the artist make those composition choices? Has the artist used the rule of thirds? Your list of questions will get longer and longer until eventually it will become one question. Is the composition good? This question will embody all of the other questions, and your answer will include the rule of thirds and any other knowledge you've obtained. Learning to examine other people's artwork is just as important as making your own. You learn with every piece that you view. Don't restrict yourself by looking at artwork that is similar to your own. This can be a mistake because each style has its own rules, and you can often learn more from a style that is in contrast to your own. It pushes you outside your comfort zone, and it also demands more from your current level of understanding. Analyse the work of the masters. If you can understand the decisions they made when it came to composition, it will give you more confidence in approaching your own work. If you have a glimpse of what was happening in the mind of Picasso, Cézanne, Dali, and many other great artists, then you will be thinking like an artist, and this will lead you to create work like a great artist. You also want to use the rule of thirds to analyse your own work. Critical thinking is important because it reveals areas that can be improved. I want you to select a piece of artwork, one that you're proud of, and then place the grid above it. Do you think it would be more successful if you had considered the rule of thirds? Perhaps you'd never heard of the rule of thirds before, but somehow your composition seems to use the rule of thirds. This isn't unusual. I've told you about the rule of thirds, but that's just giving you a conscious understanding. If you've been exposed to numerous artworks, you will have seen the rule of thirds in those compositions. You've learnt through those visuals. And it might be difficult to put the information into words and give it a name, but you've still managed to adopt it within your own work. Look at the artwork that you've created when you use the grid as a starting point. Do you consider it a successful piece? In some ways it was experimental, but all artwork could be seen in that way. With each piece we create, we learn something new. Was using the grid helpful, or did you find it distracting? Did it disrupt your usual process? Disruption can sometimes be helpful and liberating, but it usually isn't comfortable. Did you feel that you were out of your comfort zone? Is the grid something that you will use again? Use the grid until it becomes second nature. Let the rule of thirds become part of your understanding of composition. You will learn to consider it without drawing the grid. All artistic knowledge can become an instinctual part of your artistic practice. When analysing your own work, I'd recommend putting your artwork on the wall. If you do this, you will notice things over time and learn new things. Don't ask yourself how you would do that painting differently. I don't think that is a helpful question because it pushes you to be critical about your own work and you want to retain a high level of confidence. I would prefer you to ask what you would put on a new image and what practices you would choose to leave behind. Always think of the next piece and how that piece will be greater than the ones you have previously created. If you do this, it will encourage you to create a large portfolio of artwork.